before every breakthrough, there's a question, a challenge, a moment that demands clarity. Because progress doesn't just happen, it's discovered in the patterns, in the connections, in the data. Every question holds a story waiting to be told, a story that always has a better narrative when it's told through data. And over the years, those stories have been brought to life in an entirely new way by you, the Data Fam. And in doing so, you've sparked something powerful. Because data isn't just numbers and charts, it's insight, it's truth, it's the engine of progress. And now we're at the edge of something new, something revolutionary, an era where data and AI work side by side to imagine new possibilities, to see what couldn't be seen, to do what couldn't be done. This isn't about technology alone. It's about unlocking potential, your potential, the potential to see clearly and move faster than ever before, the ability to create personalized experiences at scale, the power to lead with confidence in every moment, the power of collective intelligence, to create a world where every story is heard and every person is empowered, turning information into action and action into impact. This is your moment, your opportunity to make a mark. The future is not a distant point on the horizon, it's something you shape, right here, right now. So, what will you do with it? What story will you tell? Data doesn't just reveal the world, it helps you change it.
Please welcome President and CEO Tableau, Ryan Ate.
Hello, good morning. How's it going? How are you doing? It's great to see everyone here. Wow, look at this crowd. Over 8,000 of us here, pretty amazing. Welcome to Tableau Conference. I am so excited to be here today. I see lots of familiar faces. What a day, huh? Here we are, San Diego. Really great day here in San Diego, and I want to just start off by saying thank you. It's really important to me to say thank you to all of you. Of course, our customers, our partners, our community members. I see many of you here in the front row. Amazing. All right. Also, very great group of executives and business users here, our employees. I really am grateful for all of you for being here today. We have a pretty amazing show for you, a pretty amazing week. Our goal is to inspire you, to make sure that you have a great, opportunity to learn and reconnect with people. And this is ultimately the data, analytics, and AI event of the year. It's pretty exciting. I know I'm excited to be here. I'm honored to be here. It's pretty fun. And if you think about what do we have in store for you, we have a lot, actually. And a lot of this is built based on your feedback. So we do have devs on stage. Is anybody excited about devs on stage? All right. So devs on stage is tomorrow, 10 a.m. That's going to be really exciting. I won't give anything away, even though I want to. We have the Iron Viz. I see some of the flashing in the background. The Iron Viz is really awesome. If you haven't been to an Iron Viz, I highly recommend you come and check it out. Additional to that, we have our Data Night Out with Bob Moses. We have a bunch of really great sessions. And oh, by the way, if you don't see all the sessions because you're in other sessions, we're going to try to make as many of those available to you on Salesforce Plus, which I know is important. So we'll do our best with that. We also want to say thank you, again, to our sponsors. A lot of sponsors, a lot of partners, a lot of customers. And I think that's really important for us to make sure we continue to reiterate. Now, I talk about the Data Fam quite a bit. It's at the center of all of the things that we work on. I like to say it's at the heart of everything we do. And there's a lot of momentum. The momentum continues. The momentum now, we have over 5 million Tableau public profiles, over 25% year-on-year growth. We also have over 11.5 million public visualizations. And that's all thanks to you all here. You've all been doing that. You've been driving the momentum. You've been doing the user groups with almost 50,000 user groups, 43% growth year on year. It's pretty incredible, right? And why is there all this momentum? Well, it's really because of our amazing Data Fam. And again, I want to laser focus a little bit on this because our data fam is what has brought us to this place, has helped the organizations, the critical path, right, to this growing community. And so the data fam, we have, for example, a lot of folks I want to thank, but not enough time, not enough slides. I might get in trouble. But I do want to say thank you. We have a number of new Tableau Hall of Famers. We have a number, of course, of visionaries in the audience. And I want to thank them and maybe ask them to stand up if possible. If you're comfortable, feel free to stand up if you're able to. Congratulations. Okay. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. And of course, we also have our ambassadors, right? Who here is an ambassador? If you feel comfortable and you want to stand up, please stand up as well. All right. If you're an ambassador and you're at home or a visionary, stand up. Also, we have our our user group leaders, right? These are the people who, I've been to a few user groups. Stand up. You can all stay standing. It's okay. It feels good to stand up a little bit, right? Okay. So, you can sit down now. Thank you. I think it's all really important, too, to recognize people who are new, right? So people who are here for the first time Tableau conference folks that are here today. So let's give them a round of applause as well. Okay. And, you may be wondering, well, why am I spending so much time? Again, it is critical that we talk about our growing community because it is the heart and soul of everything we do. We get our feedback, we learn, and when I think about that, I also think about how can we take some of the things that Salesforce brings Tableau and Tableau brings to Salesforce. And so we've been working on some new things, and we tried a new thing this year. It started yesterday. We brought together, of course, the power of Agentforce, our digital labor platform, as well as we brought together Tableau. And we said, hey, let's pull a couple hundred people together and see what happens. And I thought, I wasn't exactly sure. We wanted to bring it together, and you're the builders. We wanted you to tell us and show us what's possible. And, this is a little bit scary, but we'll call it out. Yesterday, there was an earthquake, okay? That's not something that I'm very excited about, but it is something we need to be aware of. And during that, what I also found was that this great hackathon, there were a few folks that pulled together Tableau, and Agentforce, and a natural language query, and they were able to essentially pull together sort of we'll call it an earthquake crisis response scenario. It's very powerful. This is the type of thing that we need in our world to help us, right? When you bring together agentic technology and, of course, the power of Tableau. And so I believe we have Roberto, Rob, and also Suraj in the audience. Maybe you're nearby. Would you, let's give them a round of applause for doing such a great job. You can stand up. Thank you. Great job. And by the way, you're both new to Tableau, right? Okay, awesome. And you're 10 years. Yeah. Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you so much. So we talk about here at Salesforce our values quite a bit, and our values with Salesforce and Tableau, we've been very consistent to these values over the last 26 years. And it's really critical to us that we, no matter what type of environment we're in, if we're, some things, the economy, things change, these are consistent to us, always. Trust, customer success, innovation, we're going to talk a lot about that here, equality and sustainability. Okay, these are very important. And what have these allowed us to do? These have allowed us to do well, right, with over $40 billion in revenue guidance for FY26, but also do good at the same time. And I know there are a lot of people in this room that do good, and I'm very appreciative of that. That is really our mission. When you think about Salesforce and Tableau, we truly believe that business can be a platform for change, for impact. And that is what we've been doing for roughly 25, 26 years with our 1-1-1 model, where we put in 1% of our equity, our time, and of course our product. And that has been a really great thing, and also part of the reason that I'm here at this company. So that's a little bit of where we are, okay? But what we're all really here for is to talk about data, analytics, and AI. So what I wanted to do is go back in time, not too far, but far enough to like 2003, the very beginning of Tableau. And that, reminded me of the first version of Tableau, which was Tableau 1.0, early versions. Okay, who here used Tableau 1.0 or 2.0 or early versions? We have any hands in the audience? Maybe they're shy. This is pretty regardless. Maybe you started in 2003 or 2009 or 2020, or maybe you started yesterday, like some of our friends who are at the hackathon. The point is, you started and you created a movement, and when I ask people what happens when you connect data and you connect visualization with Tableau, and I get this pretty consistent answer of a lot of joy. There's an excitement. And the power of being able to help people see and understand data is very, very interesting, because there's a lot of people that get excited about it. And you've all made that very special for Tableau and very special for your customers and your organizations and your nonprofits and wherever it is that you spend a lot of time. You've told a story with data, also evident on Tableau Public. And that's great. But we are clearly in a world of significant change. The AI era, the agent era, pick your term. We're in a world of change. It's no surprise. Everyone's seen self-driving cars, I'm sure. Everyone's seen robotics, robots on the way, ChatGPT and different tools and LLMs and various educational institutions. I saw something just this morning. We see the next version of an LLM now saying it can do SQL queries at 93% accuracy. That's pretty interesting. So it's exciting, but it's also potentially scary. Depends on what your perspective is. And so what I hear from a lot of people is that there are certain feelings of uncertainty. Can I trust AI? Is it safe? How can I prepare for this? Will it affect my work? What's the future of Tableau? I get that question too. Are they going to abandon Tableau in the new AI era, Agentic era? Literally, I hear this question. Well, there's also another question, and I think this is core to everything we've spoken about so far, which is, what does this mean for you? For you and for everyone here, which is ultimately, what does all of this technology, all of this AI and agentic capability mean for you? Well, it's a good question, and it's a question I get a lot. And when I think about that, it is, okay, let's examine the world of the analyst and the data professional or the site administrator or whatever else you would kind of call yourself. And I think there's many jobs that you do. You have a lot of complex jobs. Your job's hard, yes, but it's also, I think, rewarding from what I hear. You're creating dashboards. You're doing pet projects for your executive, which maybe I asked for my amazing team. You're doing dashboard layouts, table calcs, LODs. Some of these things you love. Some of these things you don't love. And I'm not going to say which ones, because I hear different answers. But the point is, you have a complicated role. And that role is critical to organizations. And it doesn't matter where you were located. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. And so in the new world, in the new AI and agentic era, all of that's going to accelerate, okay? Data connections are going to be faster. You can get data, cleaned much quicker. It will happen in a way that you haven't been able to do. Everything gets accelerated. So again, the question of uncertainty. What's going to happen? Can I trust this? Is this going to work? What does it mean for me? Well, what I will tell you is your job is transforming. Your job is transforming. And now is a really great time to get excited about it, because your job's not going away. Your job is transforming. And we are in a world now where, of course, your role as an analyst, a data pro, a site administrator is going to change. You're a superhero in the new world. You're a decision architect in addition to an analyst. Maybe you're a trust enabler, an outcomes whisperer. Pick your term. You could ask ChatGPT what other terms they'd like. The point is, you are in a transformational moment. And that moment's starting right now, of course. But it's not just you. Your company or your organization or your nonprofit or your educational institution, they're also needing to transform too. They need to transform from being data rich and insights poor because they're sitting on all this information. You know that. But they need to move to the future, which is, I want to be data driven if I run Tableau. I want to be data driven. Ask any other executive, I want to be data driven. How do I do that in an agentic era? It's a big question. So let's reflect for a second. What is our job at Tableau? Well, in 2003-ish, and also at Salesforce, we helped to define the traditional BI environment, the self-service analytics environment. And so our job was to help define that and help empower you. Well, our job now is to help empower you for the next era we call the agentic analytics era. Okay, and that's very important. But again, I'm sensing perhaps this feeling of uncertainty coming back. Well, what about Tableau? The current Tableau, the Tableau I love. Well, I love it too. Okay? The Tableau we all know and the Tableau we all love. Maybe you're a desktop user. Sure, we've got lots of server users here, lots of cloud users here as well. Maybe you're using data prep. Maybe you're using something else that I don't have on the slide. The point is, the current Tableau is not going anywhere. Let me say it again. Current Tableau is not going anywhere. I hear this question a lot. But we also need to transform. I just said we're all transforming as people in the agentic era. Organizations are transforming. Well, we also need to transform our portfolio of products. We need to get to that next level. We need to get to that next chapter. And so that really is where we are. And of course, we need to have a new product to add to our portfolio. The name of that product is Tableau Next. And I couldn't be honestly more excited to bring you the future of what agentic analytics looks like, because Tableau Next is the addition to get us to that next chapter. And this is where I want you all to come on the journey with us. Now, you may be wondering, what is agentic analytics? I'm not clear. That's our job. Our job is to empower you. Our job is to inform you. Our job is to inspire you and take you on the journey. So Tableau Next, at a very high level, is all about data, okay? There's a few data shirts here, I noticed. Well, let me talk to you about the open data layer, the most open data layer, okay? Doesn't matter. Are you an analyst or a decision architect, or maybe it's an AI agent we're looking to enable, or an organization? Well, the fuel and the foundation of agentic analytics is data. Also, you want it to be harmonized. You want it to be orchestrated in a way that you can take advantage of it wherever it is, okay? Any data source. Now, that's great, but also, I need to make sure that there's semantics on top of that, okay? So we've built an AI semantic layer on top of that as well. What does that mean at a very high level? How do I get the most trusted insights from my data and be able to, no matter which organization I'm in, no matter which department I am part of, can understand and provide accurate insights to my analyst population, my decision architects, my agents, maybe that's an agent force, my organization at large, my CEO, my CXO, it does not matter. And of course, what else? What's core to Tableau is our visualization capability. We love this part of it. We also have a lot of feedback from you. We need to do certain things, modernize it, make it this, make it that. And that's what we've done. We've started to do that. We're bringing it out to you. It's now reusable. You can share it in a marketplace, internally and externally. We're going to show you that. It's also about bringing the future of modern look and feel, right? We all know Tableau's been around for 22 years. We're bringing it to the future. And then one of my favorite parts is ultimately our integrated action layer. Integrated action layer. It's hard to say fast. But what it really means is I want to get insights wherever I am. If I'm on the plane, I want them on my phone. If I'm at a computer, I want them in Tableau. Maybe I want them in Slack. Wherever I am, wherever I work, maybe it's in Agentforce. Maybe it's in some other tool like Workday. It doesn't matter, or Box. I want to get my insights where I work. And that is what this integrated action layer is. And so this is what I'll call a summary of Tableau Next. We're going to show you, of course, a lot about this today. But I'm going to go back for a second, because this question of, well, what about Tableau today? Well, let me tell you one more time. We're not abandoning Tableau. We are putting this together in one unified portfolio, okay? Desktop, server, cloud, prep, and Next. It's an additional part of our portfolio. It is interoperable. Now, by the way, that's not easy to make things work, but we are committed to it because you are committed to us, and we are on this journey together. And so let me just double down on my point around commitment, because I am committed, and we are committed at Salesforce and at Tableau to your growth. We are heavily committed to this. And you may not believe us all the time because we interact, and this is part of being in a partnership. But we are doing things, and we're going to show you some things. For example, we will be investing in Tableau Public. We will be investing in our community. We will be investing in Server. We're going to show you some of this today. We're also going to be investing in how we price and package Tableau, which is kind of a new thing for us. How do we make it easier for you to get access to our products? How do we make it flexible? Okay? These are the things that we're focused on. So I've covered a lot, and you're probably ready for the next chapter, but I want to just emphasize one last thing. We talked about uncertainty. We talked about the opportunity to transform. We talked about all the change that's happening. I am a true believer of the fact that there are not jobs going away. In fact, jobs are being transformed. And the time is now for you, and the moment is here, right? The products are here, we are here, you are here, and this is our opportunity to do this together. So I appreciate your attention on this. What I want to do now is move to the next chapter. I'm going to keep saying next. That's kind of a new thing. But we're going to move into a little bit of a few demos, and we're going to start off with my great friend and colleague, Souther Jones, our Chief Product Officer. Please welcome him.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. And hello, TC. Woo! It is, woo! It is really great to be here, right here in San Diego. I love this town. Last year at this time, I stood here in front of you, and we shared our vision for the future of Tableau. And we asked for your feedback. And you gave us lots of feedback, lots of it. In fact, over the past year, we've had over 100 product review sessions, from hands-on product training to user experience reviews to focus groups. Together, this community, everybody in this room, and the 1,200 developers that work at Salesforce and Tableau have built the future of Tableau. Ryan just introduced it, Tableau Next. At one point had some other name, but don't worry, Tableau Next is here to stay as a name. I think. The fun part, at least for me, the real fun part now is I get to show you the product, the real product. Well, I'm actually not going to show it to you. I want to take this moment to introduce John Denby. Woo! John is going to be guiding us through this demo here today. So what's the demo? We created this fictitious company called DataFam Kicks. And we just launched this new shoe. It's called the Diego. Very cool shoe. We need to launch a marketing campaign so we can hit some really audacious sales targets. So this demo has 2 chapters. The first chapter is an analyst, and you're going to see the analyst use Tableau Next to accelerate their workflow, help them do data modeling, creating calculations, but at the end, help a business leader make a better business decision. And then chapter 2, we're going to have a business leader come up and have a conversation with their data. They have a conversation with their data so they can deliver a better business outcome. All right, so enough little intro. Let's get into the demo. I get to take the role of an analyst, my favorite job. Woo! So let's jump in. As an analyst, I get a Slack. I get a Slack from Reka, my CMO, and in that Slack, you see this completely interactive visual. This is not a JPEG. I can click on it. I can drag and drop. I can visualize it. I can do whatever I want. But Reka asked me, hey, Suther, we just launched the Diego shoe. Can you do some analysis, look at some other campaigns that we have, and tell me what we could do to hit our 35,000, that's a lot of shoes, 35,000 shoes I want to sell in the first quarter. I said, yes, I'm all over it. Give me a few minutes. I can do that in a few minutes. All right, so where do I start? I start in the Tableau Next workspace. What's the workspace? The workspace is one place, as in all of my analytical assets are here. I get a complete lineage, everything from my dashboards, my visualizations, to my semantic models, to the actual tables, to the data connections themselves. We call it a workspace as an analyst. It's like my dream space. One place, everything. I get it all. And here I go. So what I need to do now for this, right now for this project, I need to connect to 2 more data sources. I need to get data from Databricks. I need to get digital media spend data from Databricks. That's structured data. I also need to get unstructured data, social media reviews from Box. All right, so let's jump in. Let's go to Databricks, and then I'm going to get that data. I'm actually going into Databricks. I'm not sucking the data out. What I'm doing is I'm looking at Databricks. I'm actually accessing the objects down to the individual tables, and there's this table thing called conversions, and now I'm actually seeing the data in Databricks. I didn't move it. I didn't create extracts. I'm looking into Databricks, and I see the actual data. Now, what I want to do now is I want to model it. So I'm going to create a semantic model. All right, so I create that semantic model. I take the metadata, not the data, the metadata, into my semantic model. So now you can see here in my semantic model, I have an existing semantic model. This is our semantic modeling experience, and I've added that digital media content to it. Again, the data itself is still in Databricks. And now I'm going to model it, and I want to create a new calculation. All right. Anyone here know what a CPA is? No, not a certified public accountant. CPA. It stands for cost per acquisition. In the marketing world, that's the way we figure out how much it costs us to acquire a new customer. I don't know how to create that calculation. I think there's something called a level of detail or something. Well, enter Data Pro. Data Pro is an agent where I can just type in a question, create a calc for CPA by channel. It figures out the level of detail. That's nice. I like that. It writes the right syntax. Awesome. Does one more really important thing. It adds context to all of that. And you say, why is that important? In 2 minutes, I'm going to tell you why it's really important that we can automatically add context to our calculations. All right, so I just did a calculation on structured data. That's pretty cool. But now I want to analyze unstructured data. How do I analyze unstructured data? I don't know. I heard there's something called a vector database. I have to learn how to do parsing. I might have to do some other stuff. Again, I'm not sure how to do all that. So I just want to know one simple thing. Tell me the number of positive mentions for the Diego shoe in my social media reviews. Simple question. I will type that into my Data Pro calc, and it's going to generate the formula for me. Look at that. Now that's nice. It also creates all that business context for me as well. Pretty cool. I like it. Let's hear it. Data Pro is like my new best friend. Well, all right. Now I have a semantic model. I brought AI to the world of modeling. That semantic model gives me one place where I can have all that together. Created this logical business meaning off of that raw data. What's next? I need to communicate to my business executives the question they asked originally, which campaigns can perform the best. All right, so let's create a viz. Do I start from scratch? Nope. I have something called the marketplace. And in the marketplace, which is a gallery of all of your best practices that I can choose from, It has all the different things I can do. I'm trying to do campaign performance, so I'll select the one that says Performance Overview. It gives me a nice view of that, and I'm going to say, great, what do I get? I get a blank canvas. Do I start from a blank canvas, and I can put some stuff in there? No. It suggests metrics for me. How does it do that? It knows I'm working on a marketing semantic model. It knows I've chosen the Performance Overview. It has information. It can use that information, and Data Pro can suggest the right metrics for me. I'll take those suggestions. That's very helpful. And one step further, it says, hey, how about I fill in the rest of your dashboard? I like it. Yes, fill in the rest of my dashboard. That was quick. Remember, I said a few minutes. Literally, a few minutes. We went from raw data, creating a dashboard, that kind of a conversation about. But it's not just a dashboard. My job is not to create dashboards. My job is to help us make better business decisions. And there's something about this viz that's just not sitting with me. I need to help Reka, our CMO, figure out cost per acquisition versus conversions. We're trying to hit 35,000 shoe targets. How do I do that? Well, I want to analyze this. I want to modify this viz a little bit. So where do I go to modify this viz? The beautiful Tableau authoring experience that we know and love, the award-winning Tableau authoring experiences. We made some changes. We modernized it. We made it faster. I can drag, I can drop, I can move super quick. That's great. But we didn't take away everything that makes it great, the part that all of us know and love. So what I want to do is I want to figure out and show the relationship between cost per acquisition and conversion rate. That's an important relationship in marketing. I can figure out which ones cost maybe less than 60 bucks per CPA, because that's a critical number for us as a business. And I got a perfect visualization now that I can share with my business leader, and we can make a better decision. Great, I got my dashboard, I'm all good to go. I'm going to talk to my business leader, we're going to be good. Uh-oh. I forgot something. It's not just my business leader I need to share this with. I need to share this externally with my digital media partner. One click is the embed code. I can take that, literally one click, my embed code's right there. I can get that embed code, put it in my portal, and now my external marketing agency can see that information too. But here's the really cool part. Data security, permission sets, authentication, all carried through with it. I don't got to worry about it. They're only going to see the data they're allowed to see. There are a bunch of campaigns in there. They're only allowed to see the campaigns that I might set them up to see. That's carried through automatically. So I've accelerated my workflow. What have you just seen? You've seen an analyst, the fun job. I just got a lot faster doing my job, so I can spend more time having conversations about how to drive a better business outcome, having conversations with my business leaders about that. That's exciting. That's what I want. So this is being an analyst in the world of agentic analytics. Ryan talked about agentic analytics. We just gave you a really quick little glimpse of that. But part of agentic analytics is driving better business outcomes. So let's talk about driving better business outcomes with our CMO, Reka. Please join me.
Thank you, Sagar. Hello, Data Fam. This is my first TC, but I have been a long-time user of Tableau. I actually start my day with Tableau because Tableau gives me everything I need to know, from understanding my pipeline, my revenue, but most importantly, how my marketing campaigns are working. So that's how I start my day. And I had given our analyst, Sadad, a quick ask about giving me some analysis for our brand new campaign. So Sadad, what do you have for me?
All right, I'm really proud of this. I built a super cool visualization and dashboard. And what you can see here is the relationship between our cost per acquisition and our conversion rate. And we highlighted a couple of campaigns that we want to mimic so we can sell a bunch of these really cool shoes. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of what you need.
I love this analysis. I love the dashboard. I love the thoroughness. But you know what I really want? I just want to be able to understand the combination of segments and channels that I can target with this campaign. So let's ask Agentforce.
This is super cool. This is the agent called Concierge. You think of Concierge as an agent that allows you to ask business questions. Now, what Reka just said is the way that business people speak. She didn't ask for, show me this, buy that, and know the table names or any of that. How does this work? It's actually, remember I said, hey, it's really important that we have context and semantics? It takes the language she just spoke, goes to the context of those semantics, issues the query down to the data, and comes back and generates a response. Now that's impressive. That's what we call concierge. Now that response is the context of what is in this screen as well as what Reka said. But it's not just a language response, we're Tableau. So it's a visual response, because we want to see and understand what's happening in our data. So Reka, that's what you asked for, and I think it literally just gave you the combination of channels and segments that you want to target.
OK, so that's a combination of loyalty and paid social, which is great. OK, this is awesome, but Sadar, real talk. Can I trust this?
That's what they always ask, the business leader. Can I trust this? Yes. Yes, you can trust it. How do I know? In every single concierge response, there's this thing called sources. It's like a citation in a research paper. It actually tells you the reasoning that the agent did and the semantic data it came from. It can tell them exactly where it is, full lineage, right there, available for your business leaders to have. How's that?
OK, so I have a strategy. I can trust this. Let's spend $250K to go reach 100,000 people to reach our target this quarter. So what do I need to do? What's that strategy recommendation look like, Agentforce? OK, so it's optimizing around my paid social and paid search, which happens to be two of my top performing channels. OK, I think we are ready to move forward. Last thing, Agentforce, can you quickly summarize this and send it to me on Slack so I can go activate my team? OK.
And look at that. So you went from a simple question about, for those of you who have worked with marketing, this is actually a really hard problem to solve. What's the right mix of channels and segments? Can you please tell me how to spend my budget? And then can you send it to me in Slack? Like, we literally did this on stage with you live. Those are complex questions. So Agentforce is not just running a query. It's actually doing calculations behind the scenes. It's a really powerful product, and we just shared it in Slack. And so right now, it's like, hey, you guys are kind of at a cliffhanging point of this demo.
Yes.
I said, hey, we want to sell 35,000 shoes. I just launched the campaign. Well, I want to kind of know at the end. What happened? Did we actually sell 35,000 shoes or not? All right, let's fast forward maybe 6 or 8 weeks, and let's see what happens now.
Are you all ready to find out? I'm very excited. So I get a Slack from Sadar. Let's pull that up. Let's see how this campaign's doing. Great. So we reached our target. We exceeded our target to 38,000 shoes, and we still have 25K remaining. That's cool. So that's a successful combination of a strategy, the marketing channels, and the target. So let's keep going. I love that.
Yeah, what you just saw there was another agent called Inspector. I think of Inspector as a little bit like an omniscient caretaker. Behind the scenes, Inspector was running after we launched this campaign so that Rick and I didn't have to constantly be watching it. And it was watching the performance of the campaign at the same time it was looking at our budget. And it just alerted Reka that, hey, you're exceeding your target, yet you still have $25,000 left. What do you want to do? Do you want to double down?
I'm ready to go. Clearly, it's working. So I accept the suggestion, and I can actually approve this right from my Slack. That's the cool part. So thank you, Analyst Sadar, for giving us great analysis and for running a successful campaign.
Thank you, Reka, for being the part-time CMO at DataFam Kicks and the full-time CMO at Tableau. All right, so what did we just show you? What did you just see? We saw that analyst workflow where I got to do the fun job of being an analyst in the agentic era. My job was accelerated. I spent more time trying to analyze that data and get to something that could help a business leader make a smart decision on. You also saw a business leader having a conversation with their data, asking complex questions, somewhat hard to answer questions in their own language in a way that was relevant to that particular business. DataFam Kicks, we have our own language, and that drove a better business outcome. So this is what hopefully we just showed you a picture of what analytics looks like in the agentic era. So with that, I want to say, well, how did that work? Like, what's actually happening behind the covers? All right, let's show a quick view of what it looks like for Tableau Next architecture. And Ryan just talked about these before. I'll just quickly summarize it. So that open data layer, you saw me access data in Databricks through zero copy. I didn't move the data into Data Cloud. It stayed in Databricks. I queried it live. Semantically, I modeled that with data that's existing inside a Data Cloud, maybe my unified individual. And then I also combined that with data that was from Box, unstructured data. That's a really powerful scenario. I modeled that through the semantic layer. We brought AI to semantic modeling. I accelerated the path to building calculations, level of detail, unstructured data. one single source of truth, yet I didn't also change that semantic model, I extended it. That means I get to keep governance at the same time as providing agility. You saw the visualization layer come to life, the new modern, faster, quicker, rounded corners, beautiful looking visualization platform that we can all use to help our customers and our end business users see and understand that data. And finally, you saw the action layer come to play, where it's integrated inside of Slack. And if you're unfortunate enough to have to use Teams, it will work in Teams also. And that final workflow, which I can press a button and it can kick off a workflow anywhere. Now, what we didn't really show a lot of was Marketplace. I showed it really briefly because we just didn't have enough time. But Marketplace is my gallery for all my best practices. We show picking a viz, but you could do Marketplace works for semantic models, it works for data connections, it can work for workflows. Any of those things can be reused. And you saw those agents, Data Pro, Concierge, and Inspector come to life, helping accelerate our workflow and drive to better outcomes. All right, so a demo is exciting, at least I find it exciting, hopefully you found it exciting. There's nothing better than a demo than a real live customer who uses the product. So with that, what I'd like to do is roll the film and show how Box is using Tableau.
We want to run an AI-first company, end-to-end. Everything that we do operationally at Box is oriented around how we can use AI to accelerate our business. We think this is a huge breakthrough to help enterprises be able to access, share, collaborate, and now bring intelligence to their most important data in their organization. We now have about 120,000 customers on the platform.
68% of the Fortune 500, heavily regulated, highly detail-oriented industries, financial services, insurance, government.
Millions of users, hundreds of billions of files, hundreds of thousands of contracts. But we've never been able to tap into the insights in that data. The big breakthrough is, what if I could deploy AI against all of this information and start to understand my business in completely new ways? How do we start to turbocharge the productivity of 120,000 companies that are using Box already, where actually probably a very significant percentage of them are also using Salesforce?
When you bring in Salesforce, the problem that you're solving is to get closer and more connected with the customer.
For several years, I've had this vision where we could start bringing all the sort of operational data that we need together in one tool. And to me, it made sense to do Tableau.
If you take the before state, hey, the CEO's having a conversation with the board.
When the CISO is like, hey, I need year to date right now.
What was our mean time to resolution?
We need it in 2 hours.
People are scrambling in the back.
Like, you can have it in 30 seconds with Tableau Pulse if you already have the data there.
And this is where Tableau solved a business critical problem for us.
Suddenly you have this data that gives you that information that you can pivot at will.
Tableau gives us that ability to take the insights happening from our product and service delivery and marketing and campaigns and sales, and gives you that single view across the business. If I go 1 or 2 days without seeing that set of metrics, I kind of feel like high anxiety and like I'm missing something.
We start to think about now the innovation that Salesforce is bringing to the table in terms of Agentforce and Tableau Next.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh, I have been so excited about this. With Tableau Next, you can use natural language, so you don't need to be an expert. You can tell Tableau what you need to do, and it'll create that pipeline for you.
This is a pretty wild concept because it's actually very similar to how people work. I might go and ask somebody in Slack, I say, hey, do you have a document that has this kind of information in it? And they'll go spend 5 or 10 minutes, go and find it. We're gonna see the same thing happen with AI agents, except it'll be 100 times faster, and you'll be able to do it for any use case. And the really powerful thing is that you could do it 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, 100 million times, and not drain the resources of your actual human employees. We just really think about it as giving knowledge workers superpowers in everything that they're doing, which lets us better serve customers, lets us innovate faster, lets us get to market better, and that's a huge boon for all of our productivity.
Putting all of the business process parts of my job in the Tableau will save bare minimum 150 to 160 hours per quarter.
We've really made a very well-educated, calculated bet on Salesforce.
I'm looking at a Tableau interface one way or another on a daily basis around something in the organization. It gives me a very clear pulse of what's going on, how are we serving our customers. I don't know how we'd run the company without it.
All right. Please welcome Ravi Malik from Global CIO Box. How are you? Come on up.
Doing well, thank you.
Go ahead. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for coming. And it's really great to see all the progression you guys have made with Box, really amazing things. And maybe just give us your first impressions. How's Tableau Conference for you, day one?
It's great. Thank you for having me here. It's great to be amongst, I guess, data royalty. Is that it?
That works.
Data fam, data royalty. That's fantastic. It's great to be back in person. Great to see the attendance, and excited about what you've seen on the screen and what you guys have talked about. Really, I think we're in a place now with technology that is just it's amazing. It's exciting. You see the smile on my face. I'm like, this is fun stuff. I mean, it really is fun stuff.
Yeah, well, I know you, and I think Michelle's here somewhere.
Yeah,
Hi,
Michelle's
Michelle.
right there. So
yes, thank you, Michelle. Yeah. I want to make sure that we also kind of give an opportunity. You guys have done some really great things I've seen with Box AI, and we're partnering really nicely together. But one of the other things that I'd love to just maybe hear a little bit about is if you can talk about the history of Tableau or how you're using it to run. You got a global business, you're CIO. What are you doing with Tableau today, and maybe with Tableau Pulse?
So Tableau, it actually predates me before I came to Box, but we've really accelerated it, I think, over the last several years. It is our platform for intelligence. We like many companies, we're data-driven. We have a very healthy appetite for data, as you heard our CEO talk about. He's constantly, looking at the different metrics. Like many companies, we have kind of different sources, right? And it's to be able to navigate and stitch those sources together is incredibly important. And Tableau does that for us, right? As we're trying to consolidate the underlying data infrastructure, right? You can't wait until you've completed all that work. So Tableau gives us the ability to get that insights, to be insights, rich,
yeah.
And still continue to evolve from a data source perspective, right? And it breaks down those silos, and we use it across the entire business. From engineering and product management to sales, marketing, to people, IT, and now security, right? And sort of the recent phase of our journey was bringing that into the global security organization and really addressing a lot of the challenges that you heard Michelle talk about a little bit there in terms of it was high energy to produce the metrics, right, that are critical to our business. If you think about what Box does and the kind of the highly sensitive, highly confidential data that is in our platform, right, and the type of customers that we have, right, security is paramount for us. It is certainly number one. And making sure that we have that visibility and we have the insights into how we're responding and what threats we need to keep track of, and what the intelligence is that's coming in, and how is that translating to our metrics, right? That information is top of mind for the board, certainly audit committee, is top of mind for our CEO, and certainly for me and the CISO. But the energy it would take to answer a question, right, would be, hey, okay, we need to go download the data, put it into a spreadsheet. Okay, I need to make sure that's correct, and do I have all the data sources, right? And so just the foraging for data, and then sort of I use a food analogy, the preparation of it, the cooking, right, and making sure that it's presented correctly.
Good metaphor.
That took a lot of energy, right? I mean, you heard Michelle, 120, 160 hours, right? And that's just one person. So think about all the other folks that are probably putting eyes on this. Moving to Tableau, massively changed the way that we do that.
That's wonderful.
To the extent that I think I can.
Oh, you're going to show us.
I can show
even
you
better.
Here, right?
Yes.
So,
do you mind if we get a camera?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Here we go.
I don't know if we can bring a camera.
This is a live demo, so I'm sure everybody's cringing right now.
Hopefully your company's not watching.
Yeah. Look at that. All right, that came up. So, right, so I can, if I'm in the audit committee meeting, a board meeting, or I'm talking to our CEO, which you heard he's on Tableau constantly, right? I get direct access to this. Right?
Yeah.
So if there's an incident going on, I can check our mean time to respond and actually see what is going on. I can check, right, and I can go in and figure out, okay, how are we doing, right? Based on kind of what we see in the forecast, what we see in the environment.
Fantastic.
Is this something that we need to dial into? And this is powerful, right? Direct access to the data, and being able to get those insights and make calls, right? And when you're when you're responding to an incident, right, time is incredibly critical.
Yeah.
So the fact that we don't have to wait several minutes, that we don't have to worry about the curation and all this, that we can get direct access to the data. The CEO can get direct access to the data. Massively
That's
improves
important.
our response time.
Yes,
and
our
ability
CEO
to
likes
do
data
this.
too.
Yeah,
so.
no, yeah.
Well, thank you for showing that. Let's give Ravi a round of applause for showing his demo, by the way. Pretty cool. Maybe one last question, because we're showing a lot, we're talking about the future. You saw Tableau Next, kind of a little conversation about agentic analytics. You guys are obviously pioneering in AI, and I see all the things you're doing and Aaron's doing. Are there any wish list items or things you want us to think about? Or are there things maybe that you're excited to try out? Any feedback for us or anything else for the room?
I'll take the opportunity to just put a shameless plug. I love the Tableau box integration, metadata, right? I think there's tons of
I agree. So does Southern.
upside and opportunities. Yeah, I think we've already connected on this. But I love what you guys are doing, right? The concierge, I think that's one of my kind of favorite things because typically those things, I'm sending a Slack message or I'm sending an email to somebody, and then I'm waiting, right? I'm kind of waiting to.
Nobody likes to wait.
Yeah,
but.
And that now I can, I have direct access to data, so I can ask the kind of questions that typically would have, eaten up time from one or multiple members of the team. And the nice thing about that is that now we have folks who are really able to truly 10x, which is one of our values, 10x their ability.
10x.
Yeah.
10x sounds good.
10x their ability to bring value to the business, right? So instead of, again, the foraging and the preparation and the cooking, right?
Yeah.
They're consuming and analyzing the meal.
Yeah,
right?
excellent.
They're telling you, hey, it needs a little bit more salt. Maybe, maybe we need some veggies in here, or things like that, right?
Fine tuning.
Yeah, fine tuning. And as you showed in the demonstration, really dialing into what's going to move the needle.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, we're very grateful for you, Ravi, and also for Michelle for being here. She's not there anymore. But but thank you so much. Thank you to Box, and really appreciate you coming to Tableau Conference.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. All right. Okay, great. So we are now going to go and show a little bit more and talk a little bit more about DataFam, et cetera. And I'm going to ask Rekha, our amazing CMO, to come on up.
Thank you.
Come on.
Thank you, Ryan, and thank you, Ravi. Thank you for being here. We appreciate your partnership. So 4 months is all I've been in this role, but I've been a power user of Tableau. In the last 4 months, I have been working or talking to at least a lot of you and a lot of our customers. So the next set of slides are going to be with that. And I need my clicker, if I can get it real quick. Thank you. So the first thing that I will say is there's one thing that comes up again and again and again in every single customer conversation, which is how mission critical Tableau has been to that organization, the command center of the organization. Tableau's belief has always been, if we empower everyone with the right tools, people can do extraordinary things. And that's what DataFam, all of you have been doing across incredible organizations. The next thing that I want to highlight is the product. The mad respect and passion that all of you have for this product. I love this product, but seeing it through your lens is pretty phenomenal. So I want to bring back what Ryan said, which is the product family portfolio that we have for Tableau works across the board. It's interoperable, which means you can use one product or you can use many products as you see fit. Every organization has different use cases. You're all tackling different challenges, and we are empowering you with the tools that you need to go do your job much, much better. And I know you all have this question in your mind about how do I get started? What is Agentic Analytics? What is this? How can I get started? How do I create my vision? How do I create processes around it? How do I create the organizational design around it? We hear you. We have your back. We always do. So this is why we are giving you a blueprint framework, a step-by-step tool to go exactly do that. Use this, download the QR code, so that way you can go get started with your Agentic Analytics journey today. And the one thing that I am particularly passionate about is this community. I have talked to so many of you. It's so clear why this clicks and why this is so unique to Tableau. You are all there for each other. You're sharing best practices. You're thinking about ways to uplift each other. This, I will tell you again, is unique. It's nothing like we've ever seen anywhere. And that's the heart and soul of Tableau. We also hear that you want to continue the conversation in a place where you all are. So we are giving you a brand new Slack workspace for the community. You can go create channels. You can continue the conversation, whether you're a data newbie or a data rock star or somewhere in between, no problem. You have each other to help us get through this agentic AI era. So scan the QR code, and I'll see you on Slack to continue the conversation. And speaking of data fam, I have the distinct pleasure of interviewing someone who's done a really, really cool thing. To do that, please welcome Harim Jung to have a conversation. So Harim, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. I have heard your story, but I would love for all of us to understand your story too. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you have done.
Of course. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. This is Harim. I'm a Tableau Public Ambassador. And I care deeply about climate change. That is a topic that everyone knows, but when it comes to explain what it truly means, including myself, many people struggle. And it's not because we are unaware, it's naturally complex. And that's why I devoted my work to bridging the gap using Tableau.
I love that.
And when I tell these stories, the chart I rely on the most is a radial bar chart. As you may know, it's really powerful. You can bring together trend, pattern, scale, even your stories in one visual, and that is why I put it in our cumulative carbon clock as a key tool of the Visual Climates library.
Well, I love that. If you all walk by the data village, there's a whole Viz gallery, and this is prime and center in that, so you can all take this for a spin. But I absolutely love that story. How did you get started with all of this? How did you fall in love with data, Tableau, and what did this community do to help you?
Right, that's a really interesting question. I started using Tableau back in 2019 when I was working as a nuclear data analyst. I know. The data I dealt with was incredibly complex and time series heavy. It was really tough for me only using the traditional tools, but after I met Tableau, I realized something important. Data visualization can be its own language. It was not only helping me to tell the numbers, but helping me to tell the stories. And at the same year, luckily, I could start my Tableau public journey and be a member of the Data Fam community. And honestly, that's where the idea of the visual climate started, even 5 or 6 years ago. So I'd love to ask you to join the Data Fam community and be the Tableau family member.
I promise that was not a paid ad. This is just her saying this out of the sheer excitement that she has with the Data Fam community. Thank you, Harim. The next question I have for you, I'm just curious to get your take on the modern day analyst. You heard Ryan talk about the role changing, transforming. What is your take on that?
Right, Rika, that's a really good question. Many people often ask, hey, AI is just advancing so fast. Is BI already over? What about our job? And I don't believe that, because AI is not the end of something. It's expansion of what we do as data people. Let's think. At the core, we are the one who define the question, connects a thought, bring the meaning, and turning into stories, right? Instead, AI help us move faster, cut off the repetitive work, and save the space to think strategically. So if we bring Tableau into this mixture, AI, especially Tableau agent, becomes our intelligent partner. So for me, AI plus Tableau is evolution of the storytelling and revolution of the visualization.
Love that. We are getting a marketing campaign ready with that. Last question. What advice would you like to give everyone who's getting started in their AI journey?
Right. So for me, AI is not about the speed, it's a tool for devs. Like Tableau Agent help us to make better question, enrich compelling visualization wiser and faster. And honestly, that's how I created Visual Climate. Visual Climate is a global initiative driven by the Data Fam, and we are building world-first AI-driven climate dashboard library, especially using Tableau Agent. Of course, it's free to open to everyone, and even an organization can manage their carbon impact later. So overall, the AI is not only about automation, it's more likely a connection. Like we are all here, right? It makes our stories clear, connection stronger, and impact wider. So today, hey Data Fam, I'd love to ask you to join and learn Tableau Agent. And if you have any question, reach out to me, reach out to Data Fam. We are here to support your Tableau journey. Oh, Rika, one more thing.
Yes.
I can't wait to jump into Tableau next.
Oh, yay. I'm excited for you to try that too.
Right.
Well, give a big applause to Harim. Thank you so much for joining us. Honestly, this is truly what fuels us, and this is why we continue to build products that truly make a difference in all of your everyday lives. And we talked a lot about Next, and like Ryan said, we are not abandoning the rest of our product portfolio. We have a lot of innovation coming. To do that, please welcome back, this time, Chief Product Officer Sadad.
All right, so we've talked a lot about the agentic era. We've talked a lot about Tableau Next. Some of you are asking, hey, what about Tableau Cloud and Tableau Server? I saw some slides about it. Are you doing anything there? So as the person who gets to make the decisions on where we're investing our money and our resources, what I can tell you is that we are spending more resources on Cloud and Server than we even are on Next. And over the past year, we've delivered over 30 different features, all of them of which you have asked for, in Cloud, Server, Desktop, and Public. Now, this is just a short list of them. And if you're looking at this list saying, but where's my feature that I really want, I would encourage you to scan that QR code right there. That will take you to the Idea Exchange. That is how we make prioritization decisions in product. Your input drives our roadmap. So check out the Idea Exchange. We launched this, and people have really been great about it. Our product team looks at this every week. That's how we decide what we're going to build. So this is your opportunity. Meet your community members here today. Make sure you get your favorite feature voted up, and that will make sure it gets into the roadmap. All right, so that's great about what we've done there. We also made it a promise to all of you last year. We said, hey, we're bringing Tableau to Hyperforce. And you say, what's that? Hyperforce gives us ability to show Tableau or have Tableau be hosted in a number of different regions. So we said, hey, we're going to bring it to you in 2 regions last year. We said we're going to bring it to a bunch more. So right now, today, we've delivered on that promise. Tableau is now available in 9 different regions around the world. So for all of you who have global organizations, you can now get Tableau running in North America, Europe, APAC, Southeast Asia, Australia. So that gives you a lot of flexibility and brings enterprise credibility to Tableau. Also, you may have heard about this announcement with Google and Salesforce. What does that mean? In short, what that means is Tableau is going to be available on GCP in the future. So if your organization runs on GCP and you want to use Tableau in that cloud environment, you'll be able to do that in the future as well. So what if you don't want to be in the cloud? How many people here run server? Show it. Yeah. People are shy. I know there's way more. All right. So people have asked, when are you bringing AI to server? I showed that slide, and you already saw it. So the answer is now. If you don't believe me, I'm going to do a demo of it right now. All right. So I'm going to log into server. I pre-populated password. And for this demo, I'm going to be a supply chain executive. And I have one simple question. That is, these tariffs are freaking me out. And I need to know, hey, are some suppliers going to be at risk because of all these tariffs? Well, I have a Tableau dashboard that helps me have a beautiful picture of everything I'm doing inside of my supply chain and inside of procurement. And this is what I use every day to run my business. That's fantastic. But again, I have one simple question, and that is, I want to find out what my commodity suppliers are and if they're at risk. So what if I had a dashboard extension that allowed me to ask a question like, which suppliers have the highest purchasing volumes below average price? Those are commodity suppliers. They could be at risk. So I'm asking that question of an agent. Now, remind you, I'm on server, okay? This is not something on cloud. And that question is going to come back and give me a response. That's based off of my data inside of a Tableau published data source. Live demo. Fully live demo is available to all of you today. So what did you just see? That question went into, in this case, it was a LangChain framework that talked to an LLM that turned that question into a query that we were able to answer through the VDS service. The result of that query came back. We summarized that response, again, in that LangChain framework through an LLM and gave you an answer. All of you can do this today. If you're really interested in this, there's a breakout session on it. I encourage you to go to it. The power of AI can be at your hands for everybody. So with that, I think we're showing you how we can bring AI, whether or not you're in cloud, whether you're in server, whether you're using Next, all of them together. Now I'll turn it back to you, Ryan.
All right. Thank you, sir. Okay, I'm going to close this out here. I want to say again, thank you for being here. There's a couple really important things I want you to come to if you have the ability to come. Number one, true to the core. That is your opportunity to give us real feedback. Sometimes it's a difficult session for us, but we like it. We like to hear your feedback. Please come. Iron Viz tomorrow at 4. Of course, we have devs on stage. That's really the most exciting thing you're going to see. Okay, so let's give a round of applause for devs on stage. All right. You must come. You must come to devs on stage. We've got our data night out, etc. I have one other thing that we were going to talk about, and I'll just mention it here. We told you we're going to be investing in our data fam and Tableau Public. We are going to be bringing Tableau Agent to Tableau Public. That'll be happening soon. Okay? Just to reiterate, we're going to bring Tableau Agent to Tableau Public. That'll be coming soon. And additional to that, we have this thing coming up, this pretty amazing event called Dreamforce. You're going to see a lot more of Tableau Next there as well as some of the Tableau Cloud and Tableau Server and other innovations you'll see at Dreamforce in October. And then you may have noticed this slide pop up before. We're going to have another Tableau conference, okay? So I hope you'll join us next year. It will be in May 5th through the 7th. And I just want to, again, thank you for being here today. I want to get you off to your next session. Please give us feedback. We do want it, and we want to hear all your feedback throughout the week. So thank you so much, and have a great rest of the event.